Hello, everyone. 2-0. Feels right, feels good. Just like listening to Dexter Wanzel in the intro.
Which won't be the podcast. If you're listening to the pod, we're sorry you missed it.
Yeah, this is actually the Dexter Wanzel listening hour. And we're just going to
Oh,
be checking out the sound of Philadelphia all night, everybody. So buckle in.
there's just not that much to talk about from a clean and easy 2-0 week in the LCS. Cole.
What are you talking about? It was clean. It was easy. It was 2-0. We won. Yeah, you're right. There's not much to talk about.
Yeah, we're done.
We
That's
ran
it.
the whole list.
That's the show.
All right. Well, thanks for being here for Undertalk, everybody. I am, as always, powered by Rip It. I pulled out a Citrus X. You know why? Because this is my favorite flavor, and I was feeling just great about this weekend.
It's a celebratory kind of moment.
Yeah. You know, and we definitely expected to win these games. Both of us predicted the 2-0 weekend.
Mhm.
But, you know, it was very comfortable. And
Yeah.
that was nice. So I just feel like I'm just in a good mood. You know, my kids should probably be asking me for stuff right now because I'm just in a good mood.
Yeah, and not only that, but they would be up past their bedtime asking for stuff. That's a double whammy. You'd have to be a real good mood, Cole, to grant those wishes.
You'd see me go stern dad mode real quick if they did that.
Stern dad mode. Yeah, it was a. Here's what I'll say. Predictions I made last week, if you'll rewind your tape, I did it and I said I'm not gonna ever pick either of these teams until they give me some reason to pick them, and they gave me no reasons to pick them. This was the easiest analyst call of all time, you know, just like I don't think they have it.
Yeah,
they didn't, and they don't. These teams are still TSM. Everybody's feeling like, oh, TSM's back. 2-0, they're 2-0, baby.
What the heck was that? That was so easy to see through. I'll never understand it. Yeah. By the way, excuse me if I get off with my timing with you because I am seeing you before I'm hearing you right now, and it's throwing me off a lot. I'm not quite sure why that is. So, everybody, thanks Discord. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Discord, for sponsoring this delayed stream.
It actually looks like it corrected itself since we called it out. So hopefully that will stay that way. But welcome, everybody.
We're ashamed.
I do want to say this. I know a lot of people are probably wondering about this. I don't think we're going to go into the whole Doublelift and Tigris thing and the monologue. I don't think we're going to be talking about that. It is not in the plan, at least. So if it organically comes up, that's one thing. Sorry to disappoint. But that's just not our realm. And, you know, if I'm being totally honest, I just don't really care. So you know, let's just pretend that didn't happen. So apologies for letting some of you guys down, but yeah, it was a thing. Jordan has wisely just like logged off of Twitter, and so he's not getting these very important pieces of news. And especially this is funny because I think LCS itself just released a statement, if chat is to be believed. So that's kind of hilarious.
A statement, a press release. I'll check the newspaper. Here's what the other thing I've unsubscribed from and I no longer follow, Cole, is anything other than the games. So I didn't even see this segment. Even in the VODs, if I need to watch a VOD, just fast forward right on through all that.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's kind of like how last week I said that the LCS has taught me that I'm okay watching less LCS. Also, they've taught me I'm okay watching none of the in-between game content. Don't need it, turns out.
Hunter Talkers, I believe what we are witnessing is Jordan quiet quitting the LCS.
I think, honestly, yeah, that's probably classify this as that.
Oh, man.
I'm only here for the parts I like, and I'm not going to work more than that. I'm sorry.
This man is a man who knows what he wants, so we all like that. Okay.
It's more 100T dub.
That's right. So far, we got 3 of them. This split, and you know what? We got a tough week coming up. So let's talk about the strengths that we noticed from these games. And starting with the Dignitas game, Dignitas is in a very weird spot. We talked about this briefly, like before the pod started. It was like they are so strange in that it does not seem that they want to win or compete. And having Santorin and Jensen on your team used to be guaranteed like finals contender material. It just doesn't appear that they're going to be playing much League of Legends this year. I don't understand what's going on there. Zero juice, negative juice is what we are getting out of Dignitas at the moment. 0 wins, 4 losses, one of which came in our hand. And the funniest thing about it is it seems that our players are very aware of this and are taking advantage. Because if I had to describe like the way we played that match, it seems 100% confidence is how I would describe this. It was like the boys played as if there was no way they could possibly lose that game. And they were right. It turns out there was no possible way for them to lose the game. We saw lots of aggression. We saw lots of proactive trading. We saw a lot of aggressive fighting. We saw people flashing for chances to get some kills. We saw a near pentakill at the end. Probably should have been a pentakill for Doublelift. I mean, honestly, like if we've talked about how you want your team to have a built-in confidence and a swagger about them. And it seems like there is that aplenty among this team, especially when they're facing the weaker teams. And you don't want to overlook a weak opponent, but you definitely want to see your team feeling that they are better and they deserve better. And that's what we're getting right now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Because it does feel like the trap game, the game where you sleep on somebody and they make you pay. It just didn't feel like that was at all in the realm of possibilities this time against Dig. I mean, it felt genuinely like a team diff, which is kind of weird because given the players, and we were talking about this a little bit before we went live, but given the players, these are not players you'd immediately jump up and say, yeah, obviously. I mean, not across the board for sure, but like Jensen Santorin, they're not nobody. So yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, I think for me, the thing it says is, we are. I think that's one of the things you get with veterans, right? We know when we're winning a game. We know when a game's going our way. And I think it was apparent to everybody playing that this game was ours before 5 minutes, right? Like, and from there, you get all the other things that happened, which is we just kind of play however we want.
Yeah.
And there was never a point where we were really in danger of losing this game, even with some of the very, like you make these plays against an LCK team, and we know what happens, right? It's like the snowball starts rolling and you can't stop it.
We talked about the one punished mistake in the LCK will lose you the whole game. Right. We definitely didn't get punished in this game, and we made some mistakes. There was a little bit of maybe overconfidence at points. We took a 4v5 dragon fight when Tenacity was, visiting grandma or something. Like he was not around and he joined super late. And actually, like when I watched the fight back, this is a fight that we lost, obviously. I think we gave over 2, maybe even 3 kills. I think it was just 2, but it was like a minus 2,000 gold play for us when we had built a like 4K early lead. And I rewatched the fight in Tenacity. He's up in top. He TP's in late, and then he like kind of makes his way up the river like into the fight, and then like by the time he's there, it's already done. So he just turns right back around, and he never did like anything in the fight. So it's like we definitely weren't. It wasn't our best moment. You know what I mean? We weren't at our best because we didn't need to be, and so sometimes that's all right. you obviously don't want to be making mistakes or get comfortable with making mistakes, but it's just one of those things that happens, man. They felt like the game was won already at like you said, like 5 minutes. So just got to get through it.
True Venom calling out the Doublelift VOD reviews. Been watching those, like those a lot. And I think that the reason I bring that up is because it's clear that he sees the mistakes that they're making still, and so I know that the team would as well, right? He makes it clear that they're talking about these things. So I think even when it's a game that's not crisp, and they make some weird plays, like there's no concern that I have that it's like a sign that we are sloppy or careless or we should be worried about future trap games. I think this was us just truly having a feel for a game and knowing that we could kind of get loose with it.
Yeah. I think like TSM, I might have had a built-in like extra motivation, obviously with Bjergsen and Doublelift. So it didn't really seem like we were as lax about things when we played them. Yet we still had the same level of confidence. And which is good because, you know, TSM is on that 2-0 start where everybody's like, oh wow, TSM, are they good? And kind of like if you stop for a second, you know they're not, and they just had kind of like a lucky opening weekend.
Right.
And Team Liquid kind of had an unlucky opening weekend. So the team saw through it. I mean, they're scrimming these guys, so I'm sure that, you know, things are not surprising to them. Whenever we play at least this iteration of TSM, Jordan, you know what the first player I'm watching is, right?
Your favorite player in the league, Cole.
Favorite player in the league.
No doubt.
That's right.
They don't do pro view anymore, right?
No, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I'm sure that Cole. I heard a report that someone bought the source code, and I'm sure it was used so that you could unlock pro view for yourself and watch solo.
Yep, that's all I want to do.
It's POV. It's worth it.
Turn back on pro view and watch solo POV all night.
Especially if you got to see these top lane matchups. Boy, was that spicy.
Yeah, we had a couple of kill donations from Solo, so maybe we should put his name up on the overlay here. Latest donation, Solo, 2 or 3 kills. Say at the bottom right here.
I like that idea. Yep.
Yeah, I may have to do that. And Tenacity took it to him. Tenacity was on the Cassante. We got a look at that. I think it looked okay.
Yeah,
the 2 solo kills
great.
were, of course, they look amazing. Cassante makes a lot of people look amazing, so I'm not gonna, get too carried away. Solo also makes a lot of people look amazing.
He's been all those things combined. He's been Cassante's been losing a lot.
Has he?
Mistaken.
Dang, yeah. I gotta pay more attention.
I'm pretty sure he went winless last week.
Well, it can't be because of the champ. Maybe it's because of the pilot. Yeah. I don't know.
Could be. It's interesting though that it's not getting banned. So clearly people don't feel like it's so broken that you can't play it, or you can't leave it in the game.
Yeah.
And we've seen plenty of those over the years where everybody just basically gets GA'd out. So, it seems like there is at least room enough to counterplay. I think we saw Someday take a Gwen into it, actually do pretty well. So it feels like maybe people are starting to get. It seems safe to say that GP is not the counterplay you want for Cassante. I think that's safe to wager at this point.
Yeah, Solo was in the lab sorting that out for us.
Yeah, we appreciate his sacrifice.
Yeah.
On Thursday, whatever day it was, Friday. I don't know.
Friday, yeah. LCS gosh, yeah. Have you adapted to the schedule yet? I know we both were like, it's kind of nice not having to watch esports on the weekend, even though we have LA Thieves. But
yeah, that was fun to watch. Look, the only reason I remembered to watch on Thursday is because somebody sent me a snap of I gave my sister-in-law a 100 Thieves piece of attire, and she wears it now, just like it's part of her regular rotation. Cool. She also unknowingly wears it every game day for us. So good luck. So I keep getting snaps, and I'm like, oh yes, we are playing right now. Okay, I should probably turn that on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still weird. It's weird. I'm not used to that time. especially because it's like a rec league day and everything.
Yeah, that's really weird. It's like LCS finishes and rec league starts. Anyway,
Yeah.
glad to know that we have the sister-in-law buff active. Please
Yeah,
keep
for
that
sure.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to like, jinx it, but
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
sure.
Enter Infinity is actually
Classic.
that's the line.
Classic. Well, Solo entered Infinity solo kill experiences, and I just wanted to point that out. Everybody who knows me for a long time, they kind of know where I'm at with that. But you know what else we got? We got Doublelift carrying again on the Zeri. Okay, is that 3? That's 3 Zeri games for him, right?
I think so. Yeah. What's his stat line across those 3? It's like 65, 2, and 8.
Yeah, it's good, and good.
Yeah, he looks good on it, is what I'd say. It is the meta. It's that meta pick, but I'm actually pretty impressed. I feel like he's playing it as aggressively as I like to see.
Yeah.
Doesn't at all seem like he's washed at this point, although I know he is quick to point out the things he does that are not as quick as he probably once felt he was.
Yeah.
But he still clearly has the killer instinct, and I think that's what counts with the champ like that.
That definitely does.
He's not gonna miss an opportunity to get in and start mixing it up on Zeri. So it's been a friendly meta to us so far.
Yeah, well, more on that later. But by the way, I looked it up while you were talking. So the combined KDA across the 3 Zeri games for Doublelift is 22, 3, and 12 and 21. 22, 3, and 21.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the exact. It's more than triple positive. It's a lot more than that. That's considered to be pretty good. What's the well, and at least one of those was a fountain. I think one was fountain. So
yeah, he got fountain killed at the end. Yeah, so good point.
Mm-hmm.
So having himself
one was in the to the chickens, the raptors, and the other. It's weird that I can remember the times he's died across 4 games.
That's how you know you haven't died very much. Yeah,
that's how you know, because I don't have a super strong memory when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
So good to see on that front. Like you said, killer instinct still there. Someone's pointing out in chat, True Venom's pointing out in chat that he's playing better than FBI did last split, at least in my opinion. And I don't think that's really far off base, at least through 4 games. I mean, we all kind of felt like FBI was a little bit slumping for us compared to where he was in 2021. Mm-hmm. And Doublelift seems to be at least replacement level so far based on these results. So we'll see how it evolves.
I would go for he died in the botch second drag is coming from JC in chat. Yes, that was the other one. I would say he's playing better. Look, this may be more of a general topic, but specific to this game, I would say our team looks better than we did last split, which is really weird.
Yeah.
And is not at all what I expected. I think it's revealing to me that there are points of weakness that I undervalued or underevaluated, right? I think we just gotten used to some things kind of being the way they were.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're seeing it. The team feels very different now because it's essentially an entirely different team. But yeah, it feels strong across the board. And look, this was not the hardest week. So small sample size theater is one of our favorite things to say at this point in the year. But it's promising start, man. We're looking the way we need to against opponents of this caliber. And I think if we played C9 again, we'd have a much better go at it.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like we just weren't quite ready to come out of the gate with C9.
Yeah.
I'd like to get another shot at them. I still think C9 probably is looking better than us, but at least I think now with a couple of good wins underneath us, we can feel a little more stable. And then we have the secret ingredient, right? Because we got to see what we've only dreamed of. And those dreams have been mostly nightmares. Bjergsen Zillion.
Waking nightmares.
Yeah. Bjergsen Zillion. We finally got to be on the other end of it. And wow, was it glorious.
It was so good. He's so good at that champion. It honestly doesn't make a lot of sense to me how good he is at that champion. But I'll just say a couple things. One, he is fast. He is fast with the
with the double bombs and the revives and everything. It's just like, oh, he locked. Gosh, was it solo that he locked it? I watched him lock somebody in place like so many times, over and over and over again. They just could not dodge the double bomb stun.
He was 1v1ing solo under
turret for like a long time, right? Yeah.
He's just having some fun.
Yeah.
He was 0% afraid of that situation. The thing that I thought was super impressive, one of the things is he essentially used the bombs in mid to create an unwinnable situation for the Azir. I think it was the Azir, right? This is that game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He just threw the bombs behind him. He made a little corridor. He said he ushered him this way. Here you go, this way, sir.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
And I mean, brilliant, right? He could have walked through. He should have walked through those bombs to the safety of his tower, but you could tell he's just like, I don't think I can go through those bombs. He had no. The
bombs started to slap too. They were doing a lot of damage. He had a nice build, whatever it is. We don't dissect the builds because we're idiots. But Bjergsen also over the last 3 games deathless.
Yeah, he used that. There's somebody else who's been deathless. I think Busio's got 1 maybe this weekend, but otherwise he's got a crazy stat line on the Lulu. Tenacity
was deathless in the last 2 games.
That's crazy.
Closer deathless in the last 2 out of 3. So
yeah, that's impressive stuff. I mean, like we talked earlier about like, oh, making some mistakes, a little sloppy plays. Your plays aren't that sloppy if you have 3 players in your team who are deathless. Like there's never a point where you're really teetering if you've made it that far. The other one I want to call out for Bjerg was that Busio. I know Doublelift wanted him to flash earlier.
Oh yeah, down on bot side. Yeah,
he hit the revive so fast, man, so fast. I think it was like maybe it was right before he flashed, but either way, it was not on long before he died. He's very he's clearly not lost an APM. Cole, he's got every one of his APMs on that champ. So I loved it. The only thing that could make it sweeter is if we had a Scion. Please give us a Scion, or I don't know how this would work meta wise. Don't think too hard about it. Give me an Anivia with a Zillion. I don't know who's playing it. Doesn't matter. But just let's try that out. Absolutely unkill. You have to kill each champion on our team 6 times before you register a kill. Remember Chemtech? The earlier Chemtech?
Yeah.
You get that. You get the sign. Remember that one rec league we did where he had somebody who had to be killed like 4 times?
Yeah, it was nuts. Yep.
Yeah, they made some mistakes in the past, but
right.
but well, letting Bjerg get Zillion might be one of those mistakes for anyone else in the LCS.
Yeah. Well, now that's a weapon in our toolkit, right? So,
is he even meta right now? Is Zillion even meta? Is anyone else playing him?
Is Zillion ever meta? I'm not sure, but Bjergsen Zillion is perma meta.
Is there a world skin for?
I don't know. No one knows. No one plays Zillion, so.
If there's not, I know which one he's going to get at the end of this year.
So all of this going into how you're watching this 100 Thieves squad. I wanted to ask you just in general, what you're feeling like. Are you feeling more or less confident in this team? I mean, I imagine you're not feeling less confident. Are you feeling more or the same level of confidence in this team, having seen the last few weeks? Are you waiting until after this weekend when we have to play a tough slate with FlyQuest, who looks like far and away the best LCS team, and Team Liquid, who I think, like I said, had a really unlucky start, but it's still going to be solid. So what do you think there? I mean, obviously we're going to wait to make our full judgments, but so far, how does this team check in with what you expected from them?
You've asked this in a really responsible way. It's kind of causing me to rethink. My gut reaction is way more confident. Like we're 3-1. You know, we have dominant performances in different positions. We seem to be clicking well. All these things lead me to want to say more confident, but we I don't think we ever actually did our own power rankings, but I expected this team to be top half for sure, top half. And if you want to be top half, you need to beat these teams, right? So I guess maybe there's a little bit of just the manner in which we've beaten these teams where it's not been close at all that makes me feel like edge toward more confident. Um, but this weekend will be an important one. I mean, I think I'll give you my definitive answer, and it's more confident. I was prepared for both the rookies and for Doublelift based on his own, cautions to need more time to really to have these kinds of games, right? Like maybe we beat Dignitas, maybe we beat Immortals, but we do it in a way that feels like, okay, we got to win. That's what counts. That wasn't what these games were, like these were. There is a clear difference between these two teams, and it's not really a question.
At least we're not Immortals, right? Yep.
At least we're not Immortals, and they beat CLG. Sorry, CLG. So at least we're not Immortals. But yeah, I mean so I guess my answer is I'm feeling good and maybe even a little bit better than I thought I would at this point. I was ready to give them more time to start having these kinds of dominant wins.
Yeah, I think you're right on the rookies too, because one of the things we said early on was let's give these guys time. Let's not rush to judgments. And Tenacity and Busio, I don't think like they've definitively been like, yes, these are our guys going forward. These are perfect LCS players. Like, yes. They haven't hit that level yet, and we didn't expect them to, right?
Right.
But they are looking very competent to me. We saw Tenacity styling on solo, so never mind. You can't really infer anything from that. But it does seem like, they are solid, and they are both LCS rookies, right? So they're on schedule. I'm not seeing hate in their direction, which shows character development arc for our 100 Thieves fans, right? we're not flaming the new people.
Yep.
And I think in the state we're in, I don't think we're really going to see that flame even if we drop the next 2 games or anything like that, right? So I think things are on schedule or slightly ahead with the rookies. I think Doublelift is a little better than I was expecting as well. So yeah, and the thing with that is, I don't know if you felt this way. We talked about it on the pod a couple times, and I don't know, but last year it felt like Closer was capable of being super good like all the time, but sometimes it just felt like he didn't have it,
Yeah.
I think we are seeing a lot of concerted effort out of Closer. I know that a couple things during the Dignitas game were like a little less than perfect from him, but honestly, like he seems to be focusing on being really active and ganking a ton for people. And we're seeing good results from that. And it just feels like Closer took himself to task a bit. And I think that's a really good sign for the rest of the team too. Like we're probably getting more value out of Closer right now, which we'll see if it carries over to the stronger team.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, he's kind of doing it all, right? Like he's making a lot of ganks. He's doing a fair amount of counter jungling. He is earning himself pretty significant farm leads.
And then gonna go do something with it, right? Like,
yeah. So like that's check. He's getting those things done. And again, like Santorin is right. Like on Dignitas, he might not be like this. Probably won't be his best performances just because of the way the team is playing overall. But he's also not like a slouch jungler, right? Like he's got. I feel like didn't he get like top 5 all time NA? I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely heap some praise on him for sure.
Yeah, he's well regarded. Personally,
we've never fully gotten it
that well. Yeah,
he's looked very solid, but I've never been like, wow, this guy is the best,
Right. So yeah, I'm feeling really good about Closer, and it kind of like I almost wonder if this is him being like, all right, new team, essentially need to reestablish my own identity. Playing with the last team, like those guys knew him, they knew what he could do, they knew his style. I bet there's a little bit of like, I need to demonstrate to these guys that
that
it's
I'm
good that they kept
him.
me around.
Yeah,
Right. Like they call me crawl closer because that's kind of what I do. And yeah, not that they didn't know him, but the first time playing with him.
Yeah. So, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I just have something developing in my throat, I think. But, I'm wondering now. So, we feel like pretty good about where our players are. Like maybe we're ahead of schedule and stuff. I'm wondering now what we're going to see meta-wise out of them. Because it doesn't seem. I mean, we did a weird thing in game 1 versus Cloud9, which, is kind of like useful because if you do something really weird like Azir support, like you flexed Azir to support for a rookie,
First game debut,
which is a choice. If you're Cloud9, the next time you're going into our matchup, it's you probably don't feel like you know anything from that matchup. So it's like you didn't really give away anything. It was the first game of week 1 with the new guys. Yeah. So it's kind of like, whatever. I'm kind of pretending that game didn't happen. Typical fan thing to do, I guess. But beyond that, we've got this basically the same bot lane, right? We had Lulu Zeri and Yumi Zeri were the two combinations. We had Closer on Vi a couple times. I guess we saw Tenacity on the Ornn, I think, which is a little weird, but I guess Ornn has occupied that space where he can be like every kind of role. I know he's supposed to be slow scaling, whatever, but he tends to just be OP. But
unless he changes passive, he'll never be out of the meta entirely.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering what's gonna happen, especially with respect to our bot lane, what we're going to see going forward, or if this is gonna be like, hey, this is the style that we're playing, and does that meta read work for the whole split? Because sometimes things like that like stick around for a really long time, but sometimes they patch it out and overnight it's done. So I don't know if we're meta locked or if we're really going to see like more variety. Got a couple of interesting opportunities to kind of make that judgment coming up this weekend. Do you think we're going to see something interesting? And if so, is there a particular thing you want to see us do differently?
I don't know when the new patch hits, and I don't know anything about the new patch, so hard to say from it. Like, will Riot change the meta? So putting that aside, just I don't know what timing of that. I kind of the sense I get is, I think again this comes with the veteran thing. I think we have enough players who understand how this game works well enough that they are happy to continue to handshake the best champions in the meta.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, look, if you're going to give us Zeri Lulu, we're going to play it because it's currently the best. And that's on you, right? Like that's fine. You think you can beat us with the other side of the matchup, then go for it. Lucian Nami, I feel like, is always what people take right into it. Is that we end up playing against both games?
Yep.
I think it
Lucian
was.
Nami.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, both games. So yeah, I feel like it's if Riot doesn't change it for next weekend, here's what I think will happen. Either one of these two teams decides that they don't really want to see it and they do something to change that. I don't think we're going to be the ones to try to get creative with it. I really don't at this point. I'm fine with that, to be honest with you. For me, it doesn't feel like we are like stale. It feels like we have only died twice across 3 outings. It's like this is working really well. Let's just get everything we can out of it before Riot makes us play something different. I think it's easy for people to like Lulu duty, right? Like, oh, Busio, he's got good set, but he's just playing Lulu. It's like, yeah, but it's working, so that's fine. I don't like need to get crazy here.
And honestly, like, I think the way that the LCS is at the moment, I want as many wins as we can possibly get, because think about the seeding challenge that's going to happen here. You've got basically every team improved. You've got it's not like there's FlyQuest, who seems to be a standout, right? But other than that, it's like any team can basically get all the way up to second right now. It's like, look, it's plausible Cloud9 could get up there. It's plausible Team Liquid could get up there. It's plausible EG will stay up there. It's plausible CLG could even get up there. You know, so it's like wins might be of increased value for seeding purposes. I know like it always matters, right? But it just seems like things are kind of like predetermined into like 3 or 4 tiers usually with the LCS. And right now, I don't feel like it's that at all. I feel like the only known tier is basically like Immortals and Dignitas at the bottom.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where I'm at with this, is like, I'm not ordinarily, I'd be like, I want to see, they'll be fine. They'll be better than those other 2 teams. Ordinarily, I want to see some variety and like, you know, let's throw a bunch of things out there. Let's make it hard to plan for. But I feel like right now wins are going to be pretty nice to have in your pocket. So let's keep doing what works.
Yeah. Darkreed brought this up. I think it's worth mentioning, just kind of like the source code stuff and how like it might be too that more this season than other seasons, or the split or other splits. We should plan for less active maintenance of the meta. So that's not great. That's not a good thing.
Yeah.
But I think at least we're in a very strong place with this meta, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to be sitting on this patch a little bit longer than we would otherwise be, I'm glad to see that we clearly
we're good
are
at
it. Yeah. Like this would be a real bummer if it were one of those patches where it's like everybody agrees this champion's the absolute best champion, and we won't play it. We won't even try. Just permaban. It's like, you know, there have been multiple of those over the last couple of years for us, different times, and it's painful. So we are in the driver's seat, and you know, let's see how long we can make it last.
I kind of like the driver's seat. I kind of don't want to give it up.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. You know, I'll take more of that.
So what is let's talk about the Doublelift content thing again. Now we talked about this last week. We were kind of not sure about where this is going to go, because it seems like they've pushed it down the hill and now they can't control it. So let's just see where it goes and where it ends up. And it could be a huge avalanche, or it could be a nice little snowball. You know, we're just not quite sure what's going on with the Doublelift content. What we do know is that it's getting a ton of views. Doublelift did another one of his recaps from the weekend, and where it's so strange how he does it. He rewatches the Meteos co-stream and with them at basically full volume, he also talks over it.
Right.
Instead of just watching
it's
pure
like
VOD.
He's getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
He gets to co-stream with his buds, and he gets to play in the LCS. You know, win-win.
Right. But yeah, so he did something like, by the time we aired the pod last week, his week 1 recap had like 200,000 views, and it's the same this week. Week 2, it's about 200,000 views. And, this is kind of like a content machine. And it's, in contrast to that, I saw Closer interviewed Doublelift on like Twitter or something. Do you see this?
Yeah.
It was like just someone shot a cell phone video of Closer interviewing Doublelift like right after the game. It's like a Travis interview almost. The content plan is just very unusual, and I'm so curious to see what's going to happen with this.
Oh, didn't they do one of these with Tenacity last time?
Yeah.
Is this actually a recurring series now?
It seems to be recurring. Closer interviewing people. Yeah.
How many views did you get? 3,000?
I didn't see. I'll have to look that up. Maybe you can. Maybe while I do that, you can give some thoughts
closing
on
with
the
Closer.
Doublelift.
Right.
Yeah, closing with Closer. Just where are you at with the content with Doublelift? Like, you watched the whole thing. I watched the whole thing too. Do we see more of the same kind of concerns that we had last week, or what are you feeling about it?
I mean, it's kind of funny. You mentioned, or I know that it caught your attention that he basically said, like, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about draft because it's going to make the coaches angry. Which I mean, look, so long as they can find a way to make this work, I think this is great. I think this is great. Like, it's clearly something that people are interested in watching. I'm 2 for 2, and I told you that I haven't seen anything outside of the games from the LCS. So Doublelift is now my sole and primary source of non-VOD LCS entertainment. I get it. It's compelling. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
interesting, right? It's interesting to watch a professional player. Like, I can see this format working across a lot of different, both esports titles and traditional sports. Even it's not all that common that you get to have that peek inside a player's mind. And then there's the co-stream piece, which means it's also like full of jokes and spoofs and gags and laughs. So, yeah, it continues to make sense to me. All of my concerns are the same in that, like he seems to have some awareness that the coaches might not like some of the things he decides to talk about. And my genuine hope is that this is something they have, like, I hope he's making light of it, right? I hope I hope they'll all go back and they're like, "Oh, Doublelift, are you good? You're gonna do your video." He recorded it in the training room,
Yeah.
so clearly it's like not a secret. I'm hoping that the coach is sitting 2 seats down and just kind of laughing and smirking the whole time. Everyone wins. This is great. What is this? We'll find out. What does this weekly series look like if things aren't going that well? It'll be interesting. That's for sure. Might other people involved, both in the team and the staff, not love it? Sure. But those things happen. We just never see them, right?
Yeah.
If you're on a team, a professional team that's not playing well, it's not high fives all around, guys. We went 0-2 another week. Like, that's not how it goes. So I don't know.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how he handles that publicly, because usually those conversations are held behind closed doors, and then it's only
Exactly.
it's only if something goes really off the rails that you hear about it, and someone eventually leaks out, yeah, like LS was banging on the table and yelling at people. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Whatever. So yeah, I mean, my concern is still the same as what it was last week, where yeah, if we start losing and like the team gets into a rough spot, is he going to hold back from saying some things that maybe he shouldn't say given the context? He doesn't seem like someone who would do that. He seems like, I'm going to speak my mind and not worry about it. And that's, I think, why a lot of people love him.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's always good for the team. And there's, and now as you see, you don't really want that conflict to be top of mind. I don't think it's good for Doublelift to get in another conflict with a team right now. Not saying that's happening in 100 Thieves, because everything so far is it's all hunky dory. But yeah, my worry is what happens when we're not winning. And
yeah,
I still think, aside from that, I still think it's funny to watch, because it just seems like it shows you how much that pros don't seem to know. You know what I mean? Because like it just, he's like talking about, it's like, yeah, like I made this call and it was bad, it was wrong, or like I didn't really know what we were doing with the draft here. And it's really interesting to hear those insights. And I think people should just like internalize that. All right, cool, pure entertainment product here. Let's just let's just listen from it from that aspect, instead of like parroting whatever he says about the team. That's another thing I'm like concerned about, is if there are struggles on the team, like what the discourse around that's going to be, since he's very influential with fans. Are they just going to parrot what he's saying on his recap streams and take that as a
100%.
gospel? Probably. Yeah.
We know that will happen. Like, even think about, we talked last week about everything Doublelift is doing for Busio, I think, to help kind of launch his LCS career in a very positive way.
Yeah, it's really good.
Like, okay, imagine, Cole, that you are 19. Is that how old Busio is? I think he's 19.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine that
Tenacity
you're
both.
19, which is hard to imagine being the age we are now. Like, try to go back in your mind to when you're 19. Imagine that there is a YouTube video made about you, that in some places is critical about your performance at your job. And it gets viewed by 200,000 people.
It's often critical.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know why you can't press flash here.
Yeah.
I don't know. His flash key's broken or something. I don't know, Alan. What are you doing?
And, again, I genuinely hope that they have an understanding about this. Because look,
I think they do, by the way. I think they do. It's fine.
But just for a moment, try to put yourself in, like, I feel I've had moments in my gaming career, to be clear, less illustrious than Busio's already, even at the age of 19.
Don't undersell yourself that much, though.
I mean, look, I've made some good plays in my day, but like I still remember moments. Like I remember things that people said in League of Legends that I was like, that kind of hurts.
He's talking about me, I think, guys.
And that kind of hurts. Yep, they're all ganging up on me now. This feels bad. So just imagine. Here's the I'll put on my optimist hat. I think if Doublelift can help him to develop the thick skin you need to be a professional at the top of the game for a decade, great, right? So maybe that's another lesson he's imparting to his squire here. But that's kind of crazy, right? It's kind of crazy like that. There are no other supports in the LCS who have that.
Yeah, it's a microscope right now.
It is. It is.
Alrighty. Well, we'll continue to keep our eyes on that content. I mean, it's entertaining content, but
it is. I look forward to it. Mm-hmm. I honestly look forward to it. So,
and it's still just think about it. It is outnumbering the heist, and all it is Doublelift talking in front of the camera for like 20 minutes with no production. Basically.
His editor, well, I think he does it live on Twitch, and then his editor chops it down.
So it's a little less effort than the weekly docu-series, right?
A tad lighter admin burden.
There's trade-offs there. All right, let's do some listener takes and questions, and then predict the week and get the honk out of here. Yep. Starting with Joelito. He says, "What do y'all think of the longevity of this roster?" Specifically, he asked, "Can Doublelift mentally survive another Worlds exit without quiet quitting or going back to streaming?"
Oh, that's I mean, my actual answers here is I think it depends. If he likes playing with the team, if he likes playing for the organization, if he likes playing with his teammates, I think he can endure that. As do I think the rest of the team. I think the rest of the team could as well. That makes a huge difference, right? Versus, I hate working here. I don't really care about the people I'm playing with.
Yeah.
Right. We're all good, but it's like it feels like he's kind of in a different place. And I'm sure at different points in his career he's felt this way. But going back to what he's saying about like wanting to do this for his teammates, like that will carry you through a lot of dark days.
He's certainly set it up, in a way that's benevolent, and I think you're right. I think when if that is sincere, which it seems like it is, that can get you through the tough stuff, and make you want to grind a little bit harder and try and win one for the Gipper, right? Chandler Grote says, Busio said in his interview, so I didn't see this interview, by the way. I don't know if you did, but
this one he did with Sven.
Oh, is that one? Yeah. So I had that on and then I saw Sven, so I just muted. Busio said in his interview, they are working on fundamentals, which explains the scaling comps. Do you think we will spice it up this week against tougher opponents, a la the C9 game, or keep Busio and Tenacity on Enchanter tank duty? And this is like another angle for the conversation we're having about the meta and everything. I still think that we're going to see more of the same for these games, especially because these are measuring stick games now. You've played 4, you had your colossal failure against C9, your Cassante failure against C9. And now you're eager to see where you actually stack up. And it's like you have 2 games in a row where you can do that, because Team Liquid, I think, is legit. I know they're only 2-2. I think they're legit. And FlyQuest. So it's like, all right, we got 2 shots. So if we have an off day, we still got another day to kind of measure up. So I think we're going to play what we're good at, which is what we've seen more of. And I think playing scaling is totally fine within that context.
I agree. Yeah. I think, and I think the thing that for me is encouraging, one, it does feel like in this meta, if you are somehow able to lock in a full scaling, strong front to back team fighting composition, more power to you. Because I think that's done really well. But being able to flex in pieces like the Zillion, I think is massive. So, and then like the Cassante versus the Ornn. So, you know, we're showing that we can play both sides of that. We can play more aggro in lane. We can play more tank. So it's good. You know, we're definitely leaning into kind of the scaling comps and playing through bot lane. But it doesn't feel at all like that's, again, going back to past iterations of our team. It feels like there have been certain metas where if a team bans 1 or 2 things, we're kind of hamstrung.
Yeah.
Right. Doesn't feel that way yet.
No. BC, our dear loyal mod, has the Dennis Green take of the week. He says, through 2 weeks, I think 100T are who I thought they were. He says they have beaten who they should have if predicted as a top half league team. I do wonder if we get more creative against top teams or go similar scaling and win easy because we are better comps. So that, you know, more of the same on that second half of that take. I think like that's a really reasonable and measured take out of BC, where he's like, you know, top half team is where we thought this was. He's not like top 3. It's like top half team. And so far it's been kind of chalky for us. So this is the week, and we'll see if BC has to write in and say now, after a 2-0 weekend, they're better than I thought they were. So from his ivory tower in Flight Check fandom, Nox War says condescendingly, 100T have looked a lot better than I expected them to. I really thought it would take Doublelift longer to get in form. Looking forward to seeing him get checked by Prince this week. So, all right, Nox, we get it. Enjoy your moment in the sun, Flight Check.
Yeah, they've waited. They've waited for this time. I'm happy for the boys.
Me too. I am happy for them, and then I also invite them to talk like that again after they've won a title and been a 3 straight final.
No, if they can keep hold of this roster,
yeah,
they will be a odds-on favorite to do that.
Yeah. So obviously we agree with Doublelift. He is exceeding our expectations up to this point, and we hope that continues and he doesn't burn out or whatever. Looking forward to see him get checked by Prince this week. I actually am very interested in that because of the killer instinct factor that Doublelift has. Prince looks like, you know, the souped up version of that. He looks like I am the most untouchable person in the LCS, and he probably is. So it'll be interesting to see them check against that.
That'll be fun.
Maybe pride will be his downfall.
Oh, is that from the lore book? I think I love it. I love that this is a matchup we get to play, in part because it feels an awful lot like something we might run into at an international event. And I don't mean that in any way like, you should bring some more domestic players to the LCS and then see how good you are. It's just, you know, like these are potentially best in world, you know, best in role.
Yeah.
What better way to kind of test yourself than against a lane like this? So very happy for that. Very excited. It's going to be fun.
Well, at least we think it's going to be fun.
Well, I mean, look, even if we get stomped, we'll learn a lot. But you know, for real, like I don't feel like we've really been tested in the bot lane yet. Like even week 1 against Berserker, we won that lane.
Actually, yeah, we did win that lane, but we did have Zir
So-
support also. So I don't know.
Yeah, but it was just like wacky, like the Heimer, the Zir, like it was one of those. I think
Yeah.
before everybody realized, like, just play the meta. So yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to it.
Same here. Very extremely important question from Nick Moore. So let's make sure we give this one adequate time on the pod. Nick asks, extremely vital question. When we get to a game 5 and Bjergsen locks in Zilean, do we post the 100 Thieves LeBron focus meme or the Bjergsen Zilean meme? Jordan, your take.
It's got to be a new meme, right? It's got to be the Bjergsen Zilean LeBron meme. And I know
there's a lot of
wait to
common
see-
ground with those three
I
things.
can't wait to see what magic you cook up to make those things a reality. You've already done the LeBron 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is my meme.
Crossover.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was gonna
I
say
think
the
it's
answer to
nice
the
to
take is the 100 Thieves LeBron meme before I made it.
yeah, for you own it, Cole.
For it is
We
my
didn't mint
intellectual
it.
property.
But it is yours.
Oh,
yeah.
we should mint it and give it away to 100 talkers, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I don't know how any of that works,
Me either.
but sure.
JC101 gives a Carolina Reaper take, so
Ooh, okay.
buckle in.
Yeah.
He says, Closer's Vi is clean as hooey. The dig players were just so bad that he had to lower himself to their ability to outplay them. And as context, he says, it's like when a new player dodges skill shots by just walking in a straight line because they don't know that they should juke side to side.
I like that part.
So I think we're looking at like that Biofrost play, right? Where he misses the vault breaker in.
Yeah, there's one in mid too.
There
I think
was
it
one.
the
Yeah, the
first one was in
flash
mid.
is like, the flash. And yeah. Yeah, maybe it's like when someone plays Drunken Master style against you. You know,
Exactly.
And it's like, what?
Exactly.
I don't know. This is freezing my brain because there's or like you had who was it, like Chris Moneymaker winning the World Series of Poker main event in his first time ever like playing a serious event over these veterans, right?
Right. Yeah,
So.
it's that. Look, Culture doesn't have a lot of Vi games, I don't think. Like, this is not one of the champions we know him for.
I
I've
felt
been
like
watching
I
these.
felt like I did not like Closer Vibe ahead of this
Yeah,
year.
you'd seen enough to know that it wasn't one of your favorites.
I could be wrong.
I've been
but-
watching it kind of with the underlying assumption like, oh, cool, he's learning Vi, and then like the second game was like, that one was better. Nice. So, we're improving. See how it goes.
Yeah, I'm looking
is
back through his
interesting that
match
we're
history. It has been a
gone-
long time
yeah.
since he played it ahead of this split.
Yeah.
At least back through April of previous year. Oh no. There's one in August.
You know
he
what?
won.
I think
he went
has-
0-9 on Vi and won. Oh, but then he went, look at this. In a loss to Team Liquid during playoffs, he went 2-10-4 on the Vi. So
2-10-4. Wow, that is a rough.
that's a lot of deaths.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. So maybe that's where I'm getting I feel like I didn't like Closer Vi. So, but
Yeah,
it looked good.
that's where-
It looked good this past weekend.
you know what he's doing that I don't feel like he did before. This is how this is his training arc. He's using the unstoppable to completely upset engages from people. It's like
Yeah.
there are a lot of
The Maokai ults.
there are a lot-
Yeah.
the Maokai, the Nami, like he just goes right through them and then begins to punch.
I envision that he says, I'm just better in comms every time he does that.
I'm going in.
Yeah.
And then everybody else has got to like either, leave or hit the Zonias. But he's in there. He's already in there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he carried the bombs in. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
I forgot about that. Bomb delivery service.
Mont says, feels like 2018 again, where we are playing super slow paced games, yet being super consistent and making few mistakes. We're out macroing a lot of teams and using that to win. I get the feeling that it's like 2018 because if you remember 2018, it was like, yeah, we're just like gonna not really do too much and win in the end because we just have better hands.
Mhm.
I'm not ready to make the sweeping we're out macroing teams especially after 4 weeks or 4 games, and especially after the competition we played. But I definitely like. It's not like I think the opposite. I don't think we're bad at those things. So
there have been a good number of, especially around, it feels like Rift Herald, like we'll show up with the right mix of people to secure it and punish, right? And get plates Doublelift. Like he'll take a wave, he'll get a plate, we get the Herald, he goes back, the snowball has started, there's no looking back. So yeah, that's felt good. I think the quality of the team there, but it definitely does feel like, and then on the flip side of that, we definitely, I think, we could finish some of these games faster. And this is something Doublelift has said, but I agree. I mean, I think maybe the one difference I'll call out is it did feel to me, and I think this is probably like Cody Sun era, where it was like, he's going to hit 300 CS, the magic, he's going to hit his magic number, and then we win the fight and we win the game.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just hope no one gets picked before, 38 minutes when we hit that mark. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like we have healthy leads almost throughout the entire game. And then by the time we have come on fully online with our scaling, there's no way that we could lose the game. That's the way it feels to me this year. So that is certainly a more comfortable version of 2018. We're not relying on like a hyper carry who's going to come on very late. So I prefer this.
We shall hope it continues. One more from Oh My Josh 5, who says, hot take, Closer and Bjergsen are going to be a top 3 mid jungle duo. I actually do think they are building good chemistry together, and I think that will take form in the second round robin. Thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean,
who are the competitors here, right? So you've got Blabber and Diplex. I don't think is going to be in that because Blabber's great. I think Jury's still out on Diplex, right? I mean, obviously they're winning. Spica and Vikla is probably going to be a pretty tough combination to beat. And then there's Inspired JoJo, and that's probably the run of the.
So JoJo still inting, turbo inting LCS this year? Is that his plan?
He definitely did a couple of times.
He's sticking to his plan. I mean, they've won 3 games. One lost one, but
oh man, you're so disrespectful.
He's had bad games. He
did tweet LOL after that first win where he went like 0-6, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful here. I'm noticing that he's not in like MVP caliber form.
And Atlas is pointing out Piosik and Harry. We'll see, because I don't. Yeah, that's an interesting one because I feel like Piosik Harry is going to be sometimes super good, but kind of unpredictable. That's just my personal feel of the situation. Let's see, JoJo 1-7-6 in his first game on Silas, 4-5-4 Cassio, 2-4-8 Galio, and then he did have 4-0-10 Victor. So
okay, I mean he's probably still push like for mids. That's got to be toward the top in deaths.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems
JoJo.
to me.
I hope he.
Yeah, it seems to me though that like looking at potential, Spica Vikla, Inspired JoJo. And then like probably so I don't think it's that outrageous of a take to say Closer and Bjergsen could be top 3. I'm not going to claim that yet. But
it seems super consistent to me so far.
Closer's very active so far.
He's very active. He's consistently active. I think they're playing it smart in mid. They're generating a lot of pressure for Bjergsen, which has worked really well. He's been able to move around the map, which is great. So yeah, all of these things. And they're really not giving up much of anything. I feel like I can't think of a ton of times where we've been punished in mid, unless I'm forgetting big things. But
I was just thinking I neglected to mention Santorin Jensen.
Oh, that's
which maybe any other year that would be in the conversation, but it is not looking like. It looks like they are scraping the bottom of the barrel of their resolve.
Yeah, wasn't that the TL? Mid jungle last year? Is my timing off? Wasn't that the one that didn't make it to Worlds?
Wow. All right. Well, there you have it.
Ooh.
Jordan reminds us all.
Look, they maybe that explains they've maintained that trajectory.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Wait, was he on C? He was on C9. We're tripping. He was on C9. Jensen was. Remember? Because he was on Team Liquid.
Bjergsen.
He didn't have a team in spring. It was Bjergsen. You just flamed Bjergsen.
Oh no.
It took me a second. But yeah, because remember he sat out for a split. Jensen sat out for a split, and then he ended up. Yeah. That's kind of hilarious that you just flamed Bjergsen like that.
I didn't mean to.
Well, no. In your defense,
well,
it was
clearly,
all Santorin's fault.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it wasn't Bjergsen because he's doing great.
Oh, that was a great slip up moment.
I can't remember these things. I don't actually know. I didn't hear the story of how that roster ended, but I can't imagine. Again, I can't imagine it was high fives all around.
Well,
they probably weren't super happy about how that went.
So returning to the take though, I like I said, I'm not going to claim that they're top 3 yet. It's way too early to do that in the first place, and I'm not so sure they'll end up there. But I also don't think that is that outrageous of a take. You know, like you said, it was a hot take. I'm not sure that's a hot take. Maybe we should ask the Dive, since they want to rate people's takes on hotness now as part of a recurring segment, maybe. But I don't know.
Ooh, yeah.
River Gory, by the way, Mr. Carson 12 says will be pretty solid. Well, hopefully for them. But you got to be better than pretty solid to be top 3. I will say that. But we will see. I think River does have a dog in him, you know. Like I like it. Anyway, so let's talk about this upcoming week, which now remember how I thought it was Super Week last week already. Super Week is not this week, but the next one. So
you were a few weeks ahead.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I was just getting past the Super Bowl and Valentine's Day and all that. Game 1 versus Team Liquid, as we've mentioned. Team Liquid currently tied for 5th place. They're 2-2, but they did win against Immortals and Golden Guardians. Not exactly the most crazy wins, but at the same time, like we said, we think we both agree that they, are going to be better than a 500 team or a 5th place team. Do we get the dub though? Is the important question.
Yeah, they're not better than a 500 team on Thursday, which is when we play Thursday. I think we beat them. It'll be a good test, though. I think it will be a tough game. But I'm gonna remain bullish on us until I have reason to think otherwise. Yeah, I think we get it.
Okay, so
I just feel like we get it. I have a good feeling.
They did struggle against GG, right? Wasn't it like a really long game?
Oh my gosh.
I think they did. I get that feel. I would say, like, based on how the split's gone, I would take us. But I get that feeling, man. I get that feeling that this will be the week that, like, things are, clicking for them more. So I'm actually going to pick Team Liquid here. I think Team Liquid's going to take us down, which is fine.
Okay.
Which is fine. I'm fine with that loss, with that character building moment. Then we have FlyQuest. Okay, Flight Check, people. You can stop smiling now. FlyQuest in first place at 4-0. They beat Golden Guardians in C9.
Yeah. And they really beat C9.
They really beat C9.
C9 had 2 kills.
It was a big victory.
Wow.
Yeah. So, do you think
did Berserker log in for that game?
No.
Oh, he had an assist. He did get an assist.
He did get an assist. Oh, okay. Yeah.
0-1.
It was Vicla's world during that game. So, what do you think? Do we get the dub versus a very, very, very strong looking FlyQuest?
Yeah, I don't think we get this dub. It's I think it'll be some time yet before anybody figures out FlyQuest. I don't think we're going to be the first ones to do it. I think it'll be heck, maybe second round.
Historically, we've been the ones to do it. So how much DNA do we have left in this team? Remember what we did to Alfari? Remember what we did to Summit?
Yeah. Wait. Yes. Yeah. Okay. We have figured out. But I think our DNA is different enough. Their DNA is they're from a different planet, basically at this point. I just don't see it.
They're the Monstars.
They're basically the Monstars.
they took the LCK talent. They stole the LCK talent. They made all of LCK touch the Hextech chest. And then they took it back. Oh my gosh. Yeah, might have to start calling them the Monstars now. Yeah, I too think we're gonna get beaten. I don't think we're ready for this. I think it's gonna be a spanking, and we're gonna take it and shut up about it. That's what I think.
Yep. I think they're very good, man.
Yeah. Oh my Josh saying all we got to do is be Toon Squad. Well, better have that. Juvie is the secret stuff that we drink at halftime.
That's right.
Get us through it. Whew.
We got to mid-juvenate, Cole. Gotta.
Is that just normal
sure.
juvenate? I don't know.
Juvenate. You have the pre-juvenate, the juvenate, and then the rejuvenate.
Yeah.
3 times.
All right. Well, so you're predicting 1-1. I'm predicting an 0-2 weekend for us. And I'm also going to make an additional prediction that neither one of us is going to be freaking out.
Nope.
We're going to be just fine, even if it
guaranteed.
is an 0-2, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Carson says, I think as long as the games are competitive, it's good results. I'm not even tripping if they're not competitive, to be honest.
If we get D9.
If we get slapped, I'm kind of okay. It's still early. We got some experience to gain for players. So I'm not tripping.
Look, Mr. Carson, if we manage to stay close to FlyQuest, I'll be feeling great when we come back on the pod next Monday.
How long does the game go to where you're like, yeah, we did good against FlyQuest? How long does the game have to be? To the minute.
33 minutes.
I think if we make it just to 30, I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay. I'm hoping. Look, I'll give you an alternative. Is if we finish the game without objective bounties on at any point.
Well,
I'm gonna call it a dub.
That's a huge dub. That's a colossal dub.
You're ready for the 30-minute cockroach celebration.
Yeah.
We eked it out. Yeah, take it.
In fact, I want 100 Thieves to all just throw up an emote right as the clock hits 30. You know, just like our own private celebration.
Yep.
Anyway, so I'm sure FlyCheck is loving this. By the way, FlyCheck got a different time tonight, so you guys who are watching now, you can catch them. I think at 11 Central. They're doing the red eye for FlightCheck tonight.
Wow.
So
Are they calling it red eye? That's actually very
no,
good.
they called it like late flight or something, I think.
I mean, that's good. Somebody should let them know that's called a red eye.
But yeah, at FlightCheck Crew, if you want to watch that later on. This is going to do it for us tonight, though. So we love you guys. We're your dads, your Hunter Talk dads, and there's nothing else we'd rather be. So let's go out and have fun this week. This is a fun week. And no matter what happens, we'll be right there with the orange slices and the Capri Suns. It's gonna be a great show next week for sure.
Yeah, it'll be good games, good show, and no matter what happens, we're not freaking out.
That's right. You hear us? None of us are freaking out. All right. Deal.
Well, actually, Cole, I'm gonna wait. I gotta watch Doublelift's weekly review, and then I'll decide.
So if we're freaking out, it's about that, not about anything else. All right.
If I'm freaking out, it's because he's told me in his weekly update that I should freak out. Scott follows cue.
Yeah. All right. That's all for us, guys. We love you and we miss you all.